Hey y'all, Natalie Eskew here, Beachbody coach, and I am talking about inviting today. There are a million videos on inviting, and I recently have made some discoveries on how I can look at inviting as a plus to my business and not something scary. I recently just did a call with a bunch of other coaches, and we kind of came up with some really exciting ideas. There was some great discussion, and I came up with a game plan for us. So whether you are a new coach or you're a seasoned coach, we're supposed to invite 3 to 5 people a day. Inviting can be anything from making a friend to inviting them to a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity. In this call, I'm going to challenge you to think of inviting a little bit differently. We're going to think a little outside of the box. If you are making a friend, if you're inviting in that way, if you're reaching out to new people, I want you to focus on getting to know them, asking them questions about their family, their occupation, what they do for fun, basically the form process that's in the back office. So we're going to move forward and we're going to talk a little bit more about inviting people to challenge groups into the coaching opportunity, because that's really what's going to move your business forward once you've spent time getting to know people and building relationships. So I encourage my coaches to look at inviting as talk to 3 new people a day and invite 3 new people. What are we inviting them to? So obviously, I've already said it. We have challenge groups and we have coaching opportunities. Most of us have free groups as well. There is a statistic that says that on the first invitation to a product or to sell something, people say yes 2% of the time. If you go to the second time, they might say it 3% of the time. So it goes up incrementally, like do. Well, the 5th to 12th time, 80% of people will say yes. So what does that tell us? If we invite them to a challenge group and they say no, if we invite them to a free group and they're like, yeah, sure, but they might not participate a lot. Or if you invite them to the business opportunity and they might listen to the call, they might watch a video, but like nothing really happens. And then you invite them to try Shakeology and they try it and they're just sort of like, okay, no, I'm still not in. We still need something else to invite them to other than just going, hey, challenge group, challenge group, challenge group. So I know personally, I get really, really, really stuck with that. So I think having other options helps. So we all know that the reason that we became Beachbody coaches is because we love the products. We love the workouts. We love Shakeology. We all have stories. And we share them because we love them. Well, we tell people when we present the business to them, if it's something that you just love, you're going to talk about it naturally, right? Like this is sharing, it's not selling. Well, I feel like we get so hung up on the invitation process that we actually forget that this is sharing, not selling. So look for other opportunities to share, and that is an invitation. So I have a lot of people that I've formed with and I've done groups with, and but they haven't done a challenge pack, right? Or I'm really working on them for the coaching opportunity. So, I could easily just be like, hey, do you want to meet for coffee like tomorrow? Like, let's go meet for coffee. Because guess what? I guarantee you I will talk about Beachbody. Like, because it's a part of my life. I will share. It's the same thing that if your kids go to daycare and you know other moms, you could be like, hey, let's go on a play date. Because guess what? You're probably going to talk about Beachbody. Or you could do like I have tons of Shakeology and I need to get rid of it. Do y'all just want to come over and hang out and I'll make shakes and whatever? Once again, you're sharing. And then there's also the opportunity of like, hey, y'all, I really don't want to work out. Will you just come work out with me? Like, put it on you. Put it on like, I'm struggling today. Like, you just want to come like be my support system and you can try it too. Like, it doesn't have to be this like crazy thing. A lot of people are intimidated to try a program on their own. It's hard for them to just jump into buying a 60-day program. But like if they came over to your house and y'all did it together and you had fun and they got to see how great it was, don't you think that they might be more interested? And so I want to challenge you to stop thinking about inviting as like this scary challenge group, this scary business opportunity. There's a ton of different scripts. We've got scripts from Michelle. We've got scripts from Melanie Mitro. I have scripts from my team. I have scripts from other coaches. Like they're all out there. And you can be super, super prepared with them. But you also need to remember that it takes 5 to 12 times for someone to say yes. I'm not sure how many of you know my story, but I said no to Beachbody for 4 years, y'all. 4 years. And I have people that I'm like, oh man, they just keep saying no, and it's been like 6 months. I said no for 4 years. So know that I don't know how many touches that took. It probably took close to the 12. So I just want to encourage you that you can invite them to other things. You can continue to invite them to challenge groups. Don't give up on people when they say no. You know that it means just not yet. And trust that God is planting the seed in their heart. Pray that God is helping lead them in the meantime. I'm going to tell you a quick little story, and then I'm going to go into our practical tips of how to invite. This month has been very challenging for me and my family. If you're watching this video way later, my daughter at this point in time is 9 months. She has started to crawl, she started to stand, she started to take steps. And so a mobile baby is a crazy baby. And so I feel like I have barely just been keeping up with my groups and my coaches and emails and things like that before and after she goes to bed. I haven't really been able to work my business in the middle. And I was getting very, very frustrated. And I prayed to God that I could find peace in this season of my life, and that I could trust that the work that He started in me would come to fruition, and that the work that I have planted in other people's minds about Beachbody, about their health, about their business, about changing their lives, that He would still work in their hearts even while I couldn't work the way that I preferred. And I had to trust that where He was calling me in my life was more important, but that He was still doing His part. And what's very interesting is today is the 24th of March, and I have 0 Success Club points. And today I got 5 emails from people that I helped a year and a half ago, all of them, a year and a half ago, who said, hi, I'd like to buy a challenge pack and sign up as a coach. Did y'all just explode? God is so good, and what you are doing matters. And He is going to make sure that this good work that He started in you will bear fruit. Okay, so enough about that. We're going to talk about how to invite, what you should do before you start. So before you invite, you should sit down with your list. Your list should have 100 people on it. There's a great memory jogger in the back office. There's also a great memory jogger from Eric Worre. It's the biggest. It's 76 pages. It's crazy. So you will always have a list. Now, one of the suggestions that I heard today that I loved was to separate your lists into groups. And I was like, okay, well, I have a mommy group. I have a mommy health club group that's ongoing. Well, so I always keep all my moms in a list, but I don't do that with anybody else. What about your spouse's coworkers? What about the ladies that your son plays soccer with? What about the ladies that are in your Bible study or in your book club or that you go to church with or your kids are in the Sunday school class with? Separate them, because then you can focus on each group. I also feel like that makes it more manageable, and that makes it easier when it comes to the scripting portion. So 1, your list. Number 2 should be personal development. I know we talk about personal development all of the time, but I think this is a really awesome idea to do your personal development before you start inviting. Why? Because when we finish personal development, we're like, yes, that makes so much sense. And we get so pumped up and we're all excited. And y'all, confidence is contagious. This is another thing that I just want to throw in there. You need to talk to these people like they are going to say yes, because confidence is contagious. And guess what? They will say yes. It might be 4 years later, but they will. And so I want you to do your personal development, even if it's just, a 2-minute thing, if it's a couple of pages and you've already done more. I want you to do something that inspires you and encourages you and motivates you. Number 3, we are going to pray, because before we touch anybody, we should always pray. I have a prayer check girl on my team, and she's awesome. And she's always like, hey, did you pray about it yet? And I'm like, busted. No, I didn't. And we always talk about loving on somebody. So I want your prayer to be that, hang on, I want to get this right. Pray that God allows you to be bold in your service of Him by serving others, and that you are focused on how you can love them the way that He loves you. And that is a very simple prayer that I think you can add in. So let's focus on it one more time. We're going to pray that God allows you to be bold in serving Him, because He's called you to do this, and that you can serve others by loving them the way that He has loved you. Number 4, we're going to craft your script. So you're going to pick that portion of your list, and you're going to create your little, hey, this is what I'm inviting you to, and this is why I'm inviting you, and here's the compliment, and here's how much I love you, and this is why I thought of you. And you're going to just make your little thing, or have your script written on paper and use voice messaging, which is also an amazing thing, voice messaging on Facebook or on your iPhone, or I saw somebody who actually did like a video, like just really like, hey, what's up, y'all? I just was thinking about you, and it was really candid, and she just videoed it to people. So you're going to craft your script. And number 5, you are going to set a timer on your phone, and you are going to invite. So I recommend setting your timer for 10 minutes. That way you just can sit there, and if you, for some reason, like conversations start right away, you're there, but you can still hit your number. Okay, so I'm gonna go over that one more time. Have your list, do your personal development, pray, craft your script, and then set your timer and invite. So I wanted to show you a little practical application of what personal development before you start can look like, and a little bit of encouragement from the Bible. So we have Daring Greatly by Brené Brown, and this is actually a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, and I'm just going to read it for you, so bear with me. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement? And who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly? And then I'm going to give you a little bit from the Back of the Armor of God study by Priscilla Shirer. If you have not done this study, shameless plug. It is amazing. It's like, I really don't know who I was before I did this study. But in the back, she, does a really cool thing. And a lot of us have done this in other areas, but it's your inheritance and your identity in Christ. And I just marked a couple for you because I want to remind you. In Hebrews 4:16, I am helped by God. In Romans 5:1, I am justified. I think a lot of times we doubt our worth in this business. I think we doubt ourselves just inherently. It's human nature. But you were justified and you were helped. I am chosen by Christ to bear fruit. And that's from John 15:6. So think about that. We're going to bear fruit. Like, we cannot fail. We have him. Like, doesn't that encourage you? And then last but not least, I may approach God with boldness, freedom, and confidence. And that's Ephesians 3:12. The reason I picked that one, if we can approach God with boldness and freedom and confidence, if we can rest in that security, don't you think we can rest in the security that he's told us that we have in him so that we can serve others? And knowing that he's called us to this purpose, doesn't that encourage you to go share this opportunity with others? Our lives have been changed by this. We need to share that with other people. And so if you are watching this and this is your personal development before you go, I want you to encourage you to get that list. Do your personal development, aka you watch this video, that can count. 3, say a little prayer for yourself. 4, get that script ready. And then 5, set your timer, 10 minutes, go.